Hello guys, so today I'll be showing you how I've been able to return about 5% for the month of August. For me, reflecting on my previous month, in fact the whole of quarter 3, which is just 2 months in, my performance has been very slow. Again, it's because most of the markets have been doing the opposite with what I've been looking for. If you notice, the JPYs have been dropping a lot. At least within the last 1 month, they go to this level of support on the daily time frame, and they've been trying to act as if they're looking for bullish strength. So I've been able to get a few setups during this period. So I'll be showing you my trading performance as I refer to my trading journal. On this account here, I have the 5%er, so it's a $100,000 account. I've been taking the challenge. Currently it's in phase 1, just about 6.4% up. Literally just one trade away from achieving the 8%. As you can see, I've achieved all other conditions. I've achieved a minimum of 3 profitable days. I've also been able to have quite a smooth trading curve. So I've been taking this account for just about 2 months. If I take you to the last month of July, I began the challenge towards the end of June, literally just about 2 or 3 days before the month ends. So it's safe to say I've only traded this account for 2 full months, and I'm still in phase 1. For last month, I had a 2% trade. It was supposed to be a 3%, but I got my entry very late. And also for the same month, I ended up taking a loss of about 1%. So in my first month of trading the account, which is July, I returned just about 1%. Then if you come to August, which starts here, from August 7th until date is when I've been taking more setups. From that period, I've had a few break-evens. This was a break-even setup. I had a 3% trade, another break-even, another break-even, another one. Then I had a 1% loss, and yesterday it took another 3% win. So for this month alone of August, I've returned about 5%. If you accumulate with the previous month, I sit at about 6.4% return. For the month of August, I've only had 2 winners. The first one was on 8th of August, card JPY buy setup. That setup, I think on my chart should be somewhere here. If I scroll back, here's the setup on 8th. I did a video breakdown of this setup about 2 weeks ago, where I showed you how I was able to get funded more capital. If you click on the video, you'll come across the same setup on 8th. So again, I'm just showing you this for transparency. Then the last profitable trade, which is yesterday, if I take you to my trading view, you'll find the setup here. And I'll also be doing a video breakdown to show you my entry. Now back to the trading journal. Here on this right side, you can see some of my trading statistics. So my win rate has been about 53%. I've lost 7 trades and won 8 of them. My average trade duration is about 3 hours 30 minutes. My average loss is $300 and the average profit is $1,000. So anytime you look at these statistics, sometimes they're not accurate because when they check the average profit and loss, they've also factored in these small break-even trades, which to me they were not setups that hugely impacted my profit and loss curve. But if you're just to look at the profitable trades, the ones that went to my target versus the ones that hit my stop loss, then my risk to reward should be somewhere close to 1:3. My biggest loss so far is 1,150, which was on August 27th. I took a loss on the same card JPY. Yesterday, though, I have to mention that I also had a setup on USDJPY, which went and did a 3%. However, I wasn't able to catch this setup on time, so it's one of those things that I regretted, but really I can't do much. But maybe if I caught the setup on time, I could have achieved an extra 3%, meaning I should have even passed this phase 1, but you can't always be accurate as much as you try. So one thing you learn from this journal in my trading curve is the power of having a nice risk to reward ratio. And as you can see, whenever I'm taking my profit trades, my curve rises significantly. Whenever I'm losing, the loss is not enough to wipe out my initial profit. You don't need to be winning many trades for you to be successful. All you need is a few setups that can give you a reasonable risk to reward ratio and you capitalize on them. At the same time, you also want to avoid bad losers. If you check on my journal, you see I have a lot of break-evens. These break-evens, most of them could have been potential losing trades. But because I have a system and I've determined what I need to see for me to exit a market if the trade isn't working to my favor, I know the perfect time to use my break-even such that if the trade is reversing against me, instead of losing the whole 1%, I end up closing with a very tiny loss or a very tiny profit. The negative 1% loss on card JPY was on August 27th is here on my chart. So I took a buy position on Tuesday this week at about 5:30 p.m. I was looking for a promising opportunity on which I was expecting this market to continue going upwards, but it failed and I ended up losing the 1% on Tuesday. So maybe I'll finalize by doing a breakdown of this 3% setup yesterday, and I'll use the trade replay. First things first, you go to the daily time frame, get to see what price action was telling us. From the last breakdown I gave you, this market, which has been in a clear bullish trend for a long period of time, came and bounced off with a long wick, this level of support, which has been working for years. After the bounce off, we've seen these buyers trying to gather some bullish momentum over here. And now something else I noticed is price formed a very small support level here. So if I can mark this zone, you'll notice that zooming in, price has come off and bounced here the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, and a fifth time here. For a level to be valid, it just needs about 3 touches or 3 bounce offs. But price already has bounced off here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And since my bias on this market, specifically from this range here, from this level, after price bouncing off, my bias becomes slightly bullish for a while. I can't say my overall bias is already bullish, meaning I'm certain that the market will buy for the next 2 or 3 months, but at least at this level, when price bounced off here, my expectation was after this momentum, there'll be a series of buyers trying to push price higher. So going on to Thursday, where I took my setup, my first analysis is usually to confirm the previous day was a bullish candle, and the previous day, which is here on Wednesday, was actually a bullish candle. Also, if you check the behavior of the candles, it really matters. Now, if you study this candle here, the more you zoom in, you'll notice something. The price opened at about this level, but after price opening, it went and swept the low of the previous day here. So the previous day is here. This was the low. Price went and sold all the way below that low, meaning sellers were trying to be in control, and they even went below the strength of the previous day sellers. However, what you come and see is from this wick downwards, buyers came and rejected these sellers all the way up, and they went and closed bullish with an engulfing candle that surpassed the previous day's selling candle. So the price action of this candle, not only is it bullish, but the details are showing us that buyers are trying to have some sort of control. So the following day, which is on Thursday, I had a high reason to believe it's a perfect day to look for a bullish setup. So now going back to the lower time frame, my work on Thursday is very simple. I'm just looking for the market to pull back to my levels. I start my trading day at about 6 a.m. So I'm going to play the candles until then. So from 6 a.m. I'll be trying to watch and see how the market will be behaving. Of which for me, what I always want is, if this market has been going upwards, I always want it to come somewhere down here below, do some pullback, and then if it does a pullback, I'll be looking for some sort of W pattern, wait for it to come and test the neckline, then I expect the market to continue going upwards. So far, if you check, the market is going upwards. Now, after the pullback, this is exactly where I executed my setup. So this market had done a very significant impulsive move. We did have this retracement here. So after the retracement, all I'm looking for is a W pattern and my entry confirmation to be respected, which is the previous 1 hour candle to be bullish. So at this point in time, if I can zoom in, you'll notice that we did have this drop of the sellers. We had a buy, we had a drop, and we had this buy which came and closed above this neckline point in the middle. So all that is left is to wait for this market to come and retest this middle part, which I call the neckline. And when it comes to retest, the previous 1 hour candle needs to be bullish. The first retest happened at about 2:15 p.m. At 2:15, the previous 1 hour was between 1 to 2. And as you can see, 1 to 2 was actually bearish. However, the next candle between 2 to 3 was bullish. So if 2 to 3 is bullish, it means I can check my entries from 3 p.m. moving onward. So the 3 p.m. candle is here, and at some point it was at my neckline level. So now I can check my setup, adjust my stop loss to 15 and my take profit to 45. So that's exactly how I found my entry at about 3 p.m. Within the next 1 or 2 candles, this market had already hit my target very fast. Just like that, I think we did have some fundamentals which came out and catalyzed the movement of this market. So on Thursday, 3:30 p.m. we had this GDP news on the US dollar which came out positive, and you'll notice the same momentum happened at 3:30. So I believe the news also played a key role to influence the volatility of this pair. Otherwise, my entry was completely using my price action analysis and my strategy. I don't impulsively wait for fundamentals to make any decision in the market. In fact, I try to avoid them as much as possible, specific ones that I think can negatively impact my trade. So just like that, I was able to achieve my 3% return on that setup and grow my account all the way to 6.4%. And that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you've learned something, and I'll keep you guys updated on this challenge as I proceed trading it all the way to passing, getting funded, and hopefully getting payouts over time. So far, I'm not in any hurry because my markets haven't been giving a lot of setups and I don't want to force and rush anything. I've also been taking the same setups in my funded account, which I'll do a video later to show you progress as well. And one of them I'm actually expecting to scale it up in the next 1 to 2 weeks. If you're planning to take an account with the 5%ers, I do have a 5% discount link in the description. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.